All right, good afternoon, traders. It's December 18th, 2025. My name is Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. This is the day trading division of the hit and run candlesticks family. By the way, today what we had was, we had member e-learning, and I believe I think Ed recorded it. I heard the little bleeps go off, so member e-learning, understanding trading, market psychology, insights into trader emotions, crowd behavior, and sentiment analysis. An hour from, almost an hour from Doug, almost an hour from me, and almost an hour from Rick. So 3 hours of entertainment and learning and education. All right, that's what you get when you're a member. So if you're out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land, think about taking a trial. The link is included in the description. Okay, so another heads up here is market hours or trading room hours. Okay, so I think the trading rooms will be open. All right, there just won't be anybody in there moderating. All right, Wednesday, Christmas Eve until Friday. So actually from Wednesday till Monday. All right, so they might be open, but no one will be in there. Okay, same thing, New Year's Eve till the 2nd of the new year, and then add Saturday and Sunday to it. Okay, so going to be off those 3 days, and then those 3 days. All right, won't be anybody in there, but the rooms will probably be open. Just to get a little heads up. Okay, today I made 8K with 83K account, utilizing only 10% of the account value, 8,300. Let's take a peek at the markets, see what we ended up with. Let's move this over to the right. I'm going to take this out of the way. Okay, so I had a bullish bias this morning. Bullish bias came from overnight consolidation down here. Okay, morning consolidation, pre-market right here. Okay, and then we had a breakout over the base of the morning consolidation. So that was a buy right here on the breakout right over the peak. All right, of that peak right there. That was a buy right there. If you didn't get the buy there, all you needed was a green candle to jump in on this 10-minute uptrend. Okay, you just want, you don't want a red candle. You don't want a doji. You don't want a spinning top. Okay, you don't want any candle that's got way more wick than body and tail combined. All right, you want a nice green candle. So there was a green candle. There was a buy right there. I said this was a buy as we came up over the top of it. All right, so that was a buy. So we had a 10-minute uptrend. All right, I'm going to zoom way out here. 10-minute uptrend. Okay, and the target. Okay, I listed it in the room. In case you're wondering here, in the room here, BYOB Trading Room, right here. Okay, all the way up at the top here, at about 10:02. What time is that? 10:02. My target is 680.20 right there. Target is 680.20. Okay, so you had your instructions. All right, trade the 10-minute uptrend. All right, I gave you an alert. All right, in the morning right here. See, 10-minute uptrend observed. I also pointed it out in the room. 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so target 680.20. High right there, 680.58. Right there, so 680.20 got filled. Okay, then we had a harsh pullback down to the all-time high, the breakup candle low anchored VWAP. Okay, which is that's the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. So there's the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so we had a pullback to the all-time high anchored VWAP, which also coincided with. See this line right there? That was the breakout line. So we came back and tested minor support. That was the pre-market consolidation right there. So we tested the minor support. We bounced off of there. Okay, made some money on the bounce back up. Okay, and then a trip back down, all right, after we bounce off of VWAP up here, back down to all-time high anchored VWAP, land, all right, and then back up to VWAP one more time. Okay, so there's the price action. Now we're looking to come all the way back up here into the close. They didn't have enough time. We will probably wind up there early tomorrow morning. We'll see. All right, that was the hope. That was the plan. We'll see what happens. So I illustrated where I expected price to go. So I'm gonna take the candles, all right, and I'm gonna turn them way down so you can see where price went. All right, I'm just gonna move this over to the side. Gonna grab my drawing tools. All right, and I kind of illustrated throughout the day. All right, this is all recorded. I recorded the market open. I recorded almost all afternoon. So right here, okay, I was illustrating. I'm expecting price to come up to 80.20. Remember that was our target was right here. Okay, and then I was looking to go up higher after that with all the consolidation, but instead of going higher, they rolled over all the way back under VWAP. And if you notice, they didn't break the rubber band candle. All right, so failure to break that rubber band candle brought them back up. Price snapped back to VWAP, and then I was looking for price to come back down and test it one more time. This is the all-time high anchored VWAP, this purple line right here. So you saw the directions. If you go through the video, you'll see that I drew arrows on what I expect, all right, to happen was this, that, back down, back up, and then over, and then up like that. Okay, so that's what I expected to happen today. So everything happened except for this arrow right here. Okay, everything happened except for the last arrow. All right, so everything happened except for this, the blue arrow right there. So having an idea of what to expect it's like having a guide when you're walking through the jungle, all right, telling you what to expect throughout the day. Just knowing that, all you're doing is just looking for confirmation, all right, to take the next trade up, take the next trade down, take the next trade up. All you're looking for is just a little confirmation of price returning back up and then returning back down. So nice, easy day, nice, easy profits, a lot of up and down, but just knowing what to expect made it easy to make profits throughout the day. So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. You can see consolidation up here near the highs. That's a nice sight to see. All right, so I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to crank up. I'm going to crank this up. Okay, back to the candles because we're going to need them, so I can explain what's going on. So we got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. All right, candlesticks on top of the 3 on top of the 8. Okay, we just got to break through. See, here's our spike candle. All right, earlier today, this is the spike. This is the rubber band candle right there. Okay, they did not close this candle below that tail. Okay, they actually didn't even close it below the body. So if they'd have closed below this, they would have snapped the rubber band candle, and I would expect price to come all the way back down and test the 670 area. Okay, but they failed to break the rubber band candle. And what happens is the energy inside the rubber band candle snaps like a rubber band, price back up to the point of interest, which is the VWAP line right there. Okay, see that? So, and then we came back down to test this one more time, which I suspected would happen, and then back up there. Okay, so that's what happened with that. Now, yesterday, what happened yesterday? I'm just going to spell it out. I'm going to go to a 65-minute chart. So you can see the illustration from yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we were up here, so we gapped down, all right, and we traded south. How far south? We were looking for a target to trade south to, all right, and I said to traders that anytime we have a valley between two peaks or a peak between two valleys, it will most oftentimes be one of the targets today, if not the target for the day. So here's the high right here, okay, and then there's the low, and then we traded. You can see we came all the way back. See that green candle? All the way back up there. So there's one valley right there. And now you can see price make the second valley. We start from this high, and you can see the big red candle right here. And we come down to this low. Okay, that's the left side of that valley. And then this takes us up to the right side of the valley. Okay, so this would be, so we've got two valleys, 1, 2, and a peak in between the two, and that's where price targeted yesterday, and we traded, we bought some calls coming into the dip there. You can see price pull down. You can see price target this right there. Then we got a little bit below it, but then price ripped back up there. Okay, so there's SPY on the 65-minute chart with the target being the peak between two valleys. And if you see a valley between two peaks, that will most likely be a target. Okay, so there is an exhaustion candle with the 1, 2, 3 exclamation point, and then price ripped back in the other direction. Of course, CPI helped it. We had CPI was released as an economic data event that happened early this morning. So that helped it out. So you had the price action. You can go back in the video if you want to know where the videos are kept for the traders in the room. All right, you come up here to the people. All right, you hit the hamburger, come down to archives, and you'll see, if I click that, recordings will open up right here. So you can see these are all my days of recording. So this one's from yesterday. This one's from the day before. I just record my whole day from open till close. Okay, everything's recorded for people to see and to learn. Okay, it's all educational. Okay, it's all to see and learn every day, all traded throughout the day. Okay, so it's all right there. All you got to do is, like I said, just come down to archives and then click recordings, and it'll open up for you. Okay, again, the people, and then you hit the hamburger, and then the recordings. All right, so let's take this out of the way. All right, let's take a look at the 2-hour chart. We already established we got a 10-minute uptrend. On the 2-hour chart, we'll see what we got there. On the 2-hour, look, the candlesticks are on top of the 3. Okay, remember the 3 is the yellow, thin yellow line right here. See, it's under. Now it's over. Okay, so we have a 2-hour uptrend, all right, coming into the close today. Yesterday, 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. Okay, it's a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close today. All right, so we'll see if we can get some follow through on that candle. Maybe back up to 681, 682. All right, we'll see what happens. So there's SPY 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. All right, on the daily chart. All right, if we look at this, I'm going to take this and remove it. Okay, this pink line or purple line, that's our all-time high anchored VWAP. I like to stay above it. Yesterday we got through. Today we recovered. Nice work today on the bulls part. Okay, so price action. Here's the rally. Notice no follow through on the huge red candle. All right, and the bulls smell the weakness and they rally price back up. And then we bull flagged over to the right. Pull back to the all-time high anchored VWAP, test it, and now we're coming back up through. Hopefully we don't roll over and come all the way back down here. We'll see what happens, all right? So there's SPY on the daily chart. We're still in an uptrend. We haven't broken any lows yet, okay? That would be the first low to encounter. would be this low here. So we have not broken this low. So we're still in an uptrend, right? This is our April low, okay? This is the all-time high right there. We're at the top of, remember these are quadrants, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top of quadrant 4, okay? And in an uptrend, okay? So that's bullish and in an uptrend. See how I can extrapolate that very easily? Okay, got to have a few tools to do that, but get the quad lines on there. April low, okay, October high, okay. We're at the top. We're in the upper third of price action, so that's bullish for me, all right. And we haven't made a lower low, so we're still in an uptrend. There's SPY on the daily chart. All right, let's go take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, see all the green dots? Weekly, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Monthly chart, still bullish, still in an uptrend right there. Okay, so that's what we traded today, was SPY calls at various points throughout the day. All right, so there's a monthly chart. Let's go take a look at QQQ. See what they're doing. Okay, so QQQ, let's look at it on the 10. All right, got a weak 2-candle uptrend coming into the close on the 10-minute chart of QQQ. On the 2-hour chart, all right, we have a 3-candle uptrend. Notice the 3 is on top of the 8 now. Okay, so QQQ, 3-candle uptrend, almost getting pinched off here. We'll see. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Okay, a weak 10-minute 2-candle. Wait, what is this? Some new candles developed here. All right, so we got a weak 1-candle downtrend. Actually, I'm just going to call it, a downtrend. What the heck? All right, so weak 1-candle downtrend. Okay, so there's QQQ. All right, let's take a look at the daily candle. Okay, daily candle is, what's the high here? Is 613.65. The high here, 612. So we've got an inside day. Okay, that's a lower high and a higher low. We close inside a bearish trap under, see the red dots? Under the 17 EMA. See how they change color? Okay, when price is above the dot, it's green. When price gets below the dot, it's red. Okay, so it's red right here. We're still underneath it. Okay, so QQQ, right here, inside day, closing in the bearish trap because the 3 is under the 8. Okay, inside the bearish trap, under, see the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's that purple line right there. Okay, in the middle of quadrant 4, okay, so that's bullish up there. All right, and still in an uptrend, just not moving up. All right, so there's the origin of the rally up. Okay, so we're in an uptrend. We got to take out that low in order to negate the uptrend. All right, right now it's just a pullback in an uptrend. So there's QQQ, bullish and still in an uptrend. Okay, weekly chart still bullish. See all the green dots. And monthly chart still bullish. See all the green dots. Okay, so still bullish in and uptrends on the daily, weekly, monthly right there. Okay, let's take a look at IWM. And we'll look at that on the daily chart. And today's candle is an inside day. Okay, it's a lower high, a higher low. We closed under a bearish trap, under the 17, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, in the middle of quadrant 4. So that's bullish. We'd have to break this low in order to negate the uptrend. Currently, they're in an uptrend that's not moving up. We're having a 5-candle pullback right now. IWM is bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow got another 5-candle pullback right there. Diamond Dow, I'm going to say is, well, what's the high there? Is 484.79, 484.63. Lower high, lower low, closing under bearish cross, because the 3 is crossing under the 8, closing under a bearish cross, but over the rising 17. That's the green dots rising there. Okay, that's a prior all-time high. Okay, so price action is bullish because we're in the upper third. All right, the upper third, we're up in the upper quadrant 4. See, here's our April low up here. That's bullish up there. It's in the upper third of the quadrant lines. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend and closing up over this prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So still bullish and in an uptrend. On Diamond Dow, we did IWM, we did SPY, we did QQQ, FNGU. All right, sounds like a curse word. FNGU, you know. All right, inside day, doji candle. All right, higher low, lower high, closing under bearish trap, under 17, under, see this right here? This would be the all-time high anchored VWAP. Underneath that, not in the upper third. Okay, you'd have to be up above that line there. So just neutral. And you can see there's a low. They made a lower low and in a downtrend right there. Okay, and also underneath that major support line, which is all of this consolidation through here. Okay, underneath the major support line, not my place to be. Not liking that at all. Okay, notice here's the April low. There's the October high right there, and you can see we're no longer in the upper third, which would probably be right above this line here. And you look, candles underneath it, so that puts us neutral. All right, and we're in a downtrend because look, we made. There's a low, there was a lower low, so we made a lower low. So that puts us in a downtrend. All right, FNGU on the weekly chart is, let's see, the weekly is in a downtrend as well. And on the monthly chart is, well, I don't have any green dots, so I can't tell. So it doesn't really matter. Weekly chart, okay, in a downtrend. Got a low, we made a lower low. All right, so there's FNGU. Let's take a look at silver and gold, and we'll look at those on the daily chart. Remember yesterday, silver put in a new all-time high. Well, lo and behold, they did it again. I think maybe they did it again. Okay, no, they didn't do it again today. Okay, I thought they did. Lower high. Okay, lower low, closing over. See the yellow line? They're closing over that bullish trap, over that rising 17, over that prior all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the purple line. Top of quadrant 4. Okay, this is the origin of this rally. Starts back here in 2022. Okay, so here's the all-time high made yesterday. You can see that's bullish and in an uptrend on SLV. Okay, so gold. Gold ever so close to making a new all-time high. Got an outside day, higher high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap. Over that, see the green dots, over the rising 17. Over, see the purple line, that's the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're above it, right? We're at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, and we're in an uptrend. Okay, it says bullish and an uptrend. Look at price go up, hold the highs, build a launch pad, and then launch higher. Build a launch pad and then try to launch higher. So there's gold, bullish and in an uptrend. UNG today is an outside day. It's a higher. That's a higher high and a lower low. Closing under. See the yellow line? It's underneath the white, under a bearish trap, under the red dots, the 17, because we closed down here, under the 17 EMA. Down at the bottom of, all right, this is the 2025 high. So this is bearish down here in the lower third. Bearish and in a downtrend because there's a low and we made a lower low. So we're in a downtrend and we're bearish because we're all the way down here in quadrant 1 and we're underneath that 2025 anchored VWAP right there. Okay, that's the high of 2025. Okay, let's take a look at USO. All right, on USO today, okay, no longer in the lower third. All right, so we're neutral, and it looks like an inside day. That's lower high and a higher low, closing under a bearish trap, under falling 17. Okay, so it's neutral. There's a low. They made a lower low, and in a downtrend, and underneath, this is the 2022 high. This is the post-COVID rally. Okay, that's the high anchored VWAP right there from 2022. We haven't been over that ever since. Okay, so neutral and in a downtrend right there on USO. Let's take a look at technicals. T2101 market breadth on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so we moved up today, but breadth decreased. Not what I wanted to see, especially when we're moving up. All right, I want to see an increase in participation. You can substitute the word participation in place of breadth. Okay, so not a good sign. And I said not a good sign yesterday. What yesterday was fine because we moved lower and participation decreased. But today we moved up and participation went right back down to where we were yesterday. So not what I wanted to see. Yesterday was good. Today, not so much. All right, so not looking good there. T2122. You can see today's the 18th. Spent a little time in the buyer's chop zone. All in all, we got kicked out by the bears, and we wound up spending the whole day, the rest of the day anyways, inside of the buyer's chop zone right here on T2122. T2123, still holding that bull flag. See how price goes up and over to the right, so that's bullish. That's a bull flag when they can hold the highs like that. We're above the 200 SMA. I'm a bull, and that's bullish, so I like that a lot. The fact that we're over the 200 SMA, and we were in a downtrend yesterday. Before we closed. So what are we in today? Coming into the close. Well, we didn't make a lower low from there. And there's a high, and we made a higher high. All right, so we're still in an uptrend. Not quite moving up, though. All right, so still in an uptrend coming into the close. Okay, so there's the low. They didn't make a lower low, so the uptrend rules. There's a high. There's a higher high. So T2123 15-minute in an uptrend and bullish consolidation right through there. 3-bar chart, same thing, bullish consolidation right through there. Consolidating over a flat 200. Okay, that's bullish. I like that. We're up over, we're not in the lower third anymore. Okay, we're kind of up here in the middle of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. All right, and we're over the 200. That's bullish. Okay, you can see here's price action. This is the April low. This is the September high. That's our harsh pullback to the neckline of this bearish head and shoulders pattern right there. Price pulls back to the neckline. All right, and right now price bounces like a red rubber school ball back up over this flat 200 SMA. Call it wavy, call it flat. So that's bullish because here's a high, and we made a higher high, so that's bullish and in an uptrend because we're in the top of middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Yeah. Okay. All right, traders. Yeah, that ditto here, Jim, on the TC2000 really started to drag, behind all day for me. It was like lagging and dragging. Yeah. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Fahad. Thanks, CP. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, everybody. Again, I do free coaching. If you ever need free coaching, you can find me. right here. I will put it in the room. All right, right here, free coaching for the members. This is an invite to the teams. All right, just let me know who you are. All right, when you make contact with me on the Teams app. All right, it's free. All right, just let me know who you are, because I get a lot of unwanted solicitations. So just let me know who you are. All right, so that's that link right there for the Teams app. And there we go. Okay, that's Teams right there. All right, that's it for me. See you guys all tomorrow on OPEX Day. We'll see if we can get, see who's going to take over. If it's going to be bulls or if it's going to be bears. I'm looking at, this was bearish head and shoulders. And I'm looking at this possible bullish head and shoulders right here. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some follow through back up to the upside. All right, see everybody tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. Have a great night. Thank you.